Okay, good evening. Welcome everybody to the free Zoom meeting for scriptwriters and filmmakers. This is Monday, June the 7th, 2021. Just to remind everybody that this meeting is being recorded and it'll be posted on my YouTube channel tomorrow, and you'll get the link tomorrow. So please watch what you say so I can post it for children also to watch. Not that I get many children, but so that sort of thing. So what we'll do is go around whoever came in first, and then tell us where you're located and what you've been working on the last few weeks. And then after that, we'll go into tonight's topic about writing theme, and then we'll open it up to general topics and discussion. So Hannah, you came in first.
Okay, my name is Hannah Strauss, and I'm working on a couple of screenplay projects. I'm located here in hot, sunny Tucson, Arizona, and my current project that I'm concentrating the most on is called Joe Plant. It's a sci-fi comedy drama, sort of a crossover kind of a project. And that's what I've been primarily concentrating on. I have a couple of other projects that I'm working on, but they're basically in the synopsis state right now. Joe Plant was also again recently selected as being part of the Carolina Short Film Festival, so it got accepted as another entry this past week. And Julian Martin had the good grace of reviewing my screenplay and gave me a lot of helpful hints to make it a better story, and I've employed some of his suggestions to make it better. And I had the pleasure of reading his screenplay Poppycock as well, which was a delight to read. It was very humorous. And if anybody else wants to read it, I highly recommend it.
Great. Okay, next, Ardell.
I'm from Vancouver Island, and I'm presently in the final rewrite of Murder by Pins and Needles. And it's a novel length thing, and I've uploaded my coloring book, my animated coloring book, to Scrivener, or no, Final Draft, to convert it into a screenplay, animated screenplay. And that's from Julian's reading. That group that was reading his play said they wanted to look at animation, so I thought that might be fun.
Great. Patricia.
Help if I knew where the mute was. Hi. I'm in Kissimmee, Florida. I got my newest thriller done through the first draft. I had one person from my Screenwriters University alumni group read through it, and she gave me some nice notes to improve the action. I'm very happy with it. I emailed my producer, Alex French. She had started a new job, so her filmmaking got pushed back to second status, but she is moving forward with our little short film project. She was looking to put out a call for actors, and hopefully sometime soon we'll be doing a table read. And she's also putting other crew elements together. When we get started, I don't know. I guess it depends on her job right now. I sent a written pitch to Virtual Pitch Fest because I had a couple to use, and I no takers, but I got some lovely comments back. So it's a strong pitch. I'm going to use it with another list of producers that I have. And I reached out to two of the three people that you gave me, Christine. Renati did get back to me, and I sent her the pitch. I have yet to hear back on whether she wants to read it or not. And that's where I stand.
Great. Tom Fields, welcome.
Hi, I just dropped in. A friend of mine sent me this link. I'm actually more of an actor and a voiceover talent, but I like hanging out with script writers, and I dabble a little bit on the side. I'm toying with a script for basically maybe to make it into a pilot. Has to do with the goings on at a good humor plant in Brooklyn that I actually worked at. So fictionalizing that. It's called Burnt Almond is the working title.
And where are you located?
Just outside of Washington, D.C., Northern Virginia, Annandale. I enjoy doing cold reads. I go to a couple of scriptwriters meetings in this area. They're all virtual these days, but people will bring their copy. Usually we limit it to 10 or 12 pages, and we select kind of on the fly the cast, and then the pieces are read, and there's feedback given to the extent the author is interested in getting different types of commentary.
Good.
Yeah.
Barbara.
Hi everyone, my name is Barbara. I am in Toronto. So currently I am editing one of my scripts that I started last year. I entered it in a few festivals. I got selected for a few of them, and now it's been almost a year. So now I'm kind of looking at it with a fresh pair of eyes. So that's what I'm up to.
And what genre is the script?
It's drama/romance with a little bit of comedy in there.
Good. Okay, Rosie, welcome.
Hi, everyone. My name is Rosie. This is my first meeting here ever. So it's nice to meet everyone. I'm located in Toronto, Canada. Currently, what I've been working on are a few short films. So just trying to kind of perfect, short film screenwriting and possibly make them into short films to get them out there. If I can get them entered into some film festivals, that's great. So I finished one short film, which was basically like a drama, and working on a couple of other ones, which are also drama. And I think after that, I'm gonna just try and work on maybe a feature-length script or two. Just trying to build up my portfolio, trying to just keep my skills fresh, just trying to write like crazy. I've never really been able to kind of sit down before and focus and try to really get through the writing process. But I've been trying to do a lot more of that during this whole pandemic. So hopefully when everything is sort of lifted and we kind of go back to normal, I have some scripts, I have some movies made, and hopefully that can get my foot into the door.
Great. And Karen, welcome. You have to unmute yourself.
It's nice. It reminds you to do that too. Hi, it's my first time here. My name is Karen Thomas. And I'm actually a member of SCBWI, which is the Society of Children's Books Writers and Illustrators, but I have a dark side, and I am writing a pilot, a dark comedy involving a veterinarian. So that one is about halfway through. And so I've been watching everybody here on YouTube, and it's been enchanting. So I decided I would join.
And where are you from?
I'm sorry, I'm from Sunnyvale, California.
Great. Sille.
Yeah. Hi everybody. So I'm from Denmark, and right now I'm actually not writing anything. I'm rewriting my first script. And then I'm trying to apply for an education in the US.
Good. And what is the genre that you're rewriting?
That is love and drama.
Great. Pauline.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Pauline Williams, and I'm in Normal, Illinois, and I'm a professor here. I wrote a screenplay for a feature-length film, and I had planned this summer to pitch it, and hopefully I still will. But what I'm doing right now is studying and researching more about it, about how to do it. I reached out to Alex, and he gave me a resource, VPF, and to help me with, well, they offer pitches. You can purchase different packages and pitch so many. It depends on the package, of course. You have so many pitches per package. And then I remembered I joined Stage 32, and I thought, well, isn't it similar? And maybe somebody could give me some insight a little bit later about that. Let's see. And I'm also going back to review the screenplay. I've written so many different drafts. I put it aside for a while, and now, with fresh eyes, I'm going to go back and look and just make sure it's in the best format that I can get it in, so that it'll be ready when I do the pitching.
Great. Nick.
Hi, everybody. So I am currently working on the rewrites for my film Luna Weds Muna, and incorporating the topics that we learned from each of the sessions, such as the flashbacks, and added to my script as much as I could. Sometimes I also get a little bored writing too much romantic comedy, so I'm also working simultaneously on the existing script that I started end of last year called Kashmir Confidential, which is an action comedy. So yeah, whenever I get the time, I'll do that. I was able to network with Pauline, and she volunteered to review some of my scripts. So I'm gonna work with her since we're kind of on the same level. I think it's good to have feedback from her, and so that's
Great.
about it. I'm in SF Bay Area. I'm still here, and thanks.
Good. Alex.
Right on cue, Christine, with the water, right? It's funny. Hilarious. Good afternoon, everybody from South Florida here. I work in Miami and live up the street, 30 odd miles away, which takes about 2 hours to get home, if anybody knows South Florida. It's like driving on the 405 for those of you in LA. I want to say thank you for everybody that came Saturday. I'd hosted a networking event, kind of similar to this in a sense, Christine, I guess, of people connected to our Future Leaders of the World project. So I've gotten some feedback from people. 2 different sets of people have connected on something that's kind of cool. And I just had a meeting with a possible producer for the Sundance film, someone that's very interested in it. So that was interesting. Came about because of the meeting Saturday. Somebody, introduced me to somebody. So that's very cool. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a writer, but I'm more of a producer these days. I've hardly written a thing in the last 3 months, I'll be honest. Terrible. I did write a short script with my writing partner. It's called Still Downloading, and it's a short about the dangers of underage pornography. Apparently it went to the kids on Saturday for a review, and I don't believe it scored very well. So be interesting to see the comments on that. That project's called Future Leaders of the World, and basically we're taking young people and ideas and script writers and developing 6-page shorts to introduce a sensitive health topic. So Julian can talk more about his. He's one of my writers. But for instance, I would not be teaching about sex trafficking through the film, but we'll be creating a story that introduces that topic of sex trafficking. So it's a really cool project. We have someone big behind us supporting it. It's moving along really well. Wednesday, I finally have my meeting with the people who are underwriting the first shoot. So that's very exciting. And in the chat, I'm going to put my Instagram account for Flow. I'd love you to follow us because we are looking for support. We're looking for people to be interested in it. So it's flow_helping. So I've just loaded that up. If anybody needs to reach out to me, my email's coming as well. As everybody here knows, I've had a lot of mentors in my life that have helped me out. So I'm always willing to give it forward about half an hour. So anything, I will. I'm like that. Pauline can tell you, okay? I'm there because that's how I believe in, because we're all here for a reason, to create content, to make, you know, social change and entertain and all that stuff. But we all need to help each other out. So yes, I'm shooting up the ladder this year, but still willing to give back. So if anyone needs help, just contact me, okay? Email's coming in. Thank you.
Good. Doug McDougall.
Hi, everyone. So originally from Hamilton, like Christine, and based out of Georgetown, just west of Toronto. I'm one of those multi-hyphenates, so writer, actor, director. Also a technical director for a virtual theater group called Play Zoomers, based in Boston. Right now I'm in the middle of writing a pantomime, which is a musical comedy, casting this fall and rehearsing for a December virtual debut. A reimagining of Cinderella, called it Cinderella If the Shoe Fits, taking place in France. In this show will be a reboot of the dating game, and I heard there's going to be a reboot coming on TV this next week or so, which is really cool. There'll be some dating apps in it, a lot of musical parody. It'll be a 2-act play with 23 scenes and over 20 songs, not full songs, but song bits here and there. And the one thing I'm kind of tagging in on is that Cinderella is 17 years old. So my Cinderella, 2 songs that fit with her age are, I saw her standing there by the Beatles. She was just 17, you know what I mean? And Dancing Queen, only 17. So I'm trying to find all kinds of music that goes with the genre. So it's a lot of fun putting it together and then changing the words like Weird Al Yankovic does in parody style. And in a pantomime, you can bring in any character from past, present, or future in any genre. So it's great having that wide kind of catch to be able to bring in any character. There's a couple resources I wanted to share tonight, if that's all right, Christine. I'll just click off my virtual background for a second. And they may be ones that people have already seen. But there's this one called The Nutshell Technique by Jill Chamberlain. And it's a really great resource. She talks a lot about character flaws. You can get it on Amazon. So The Nutshell Technique, Jill Chamberlain. It's a fairly new book. I went to one of her workshops as well. And she talks about this formula in movies that are out nowadays where a character flaw is revealed within the first 25% of a film. And whether it's a comedy or a tragedy, there's a kind of formula she has in the book, which is really neat. And then another one, which people probably have heard before, is Save the Cat. Anyways, just some resources that are out there. Just thought I'd share that with the group.
Great. Okay, next is Julian.
Hi, everybody. New. Julian Martin, screenwriter, author. So I posted that link, that script hop packet in there, so you can see my new poster. I found a great guy, Travis Diffender, to do a poster for Poppycock. It's very bright and colorful. It's got my pretty close rendition of my characters in there. I mean, he is talented. If you look at it, you'll see he's got talent. I'm like, whoa, this is professional. And I got it for a hell of a deal. Met him on Twitter. But so check out that, and you can read the script there too. Yep, and I did a trade. She's got a really fun script too. I think if you do some of those things, Hannah, that'd be awesome script. Been trying to query some agents cold. That's, nothing. Radio silence. Trying to find folks who are noted Marx Brothers fans to try to get them to check out Poppycock. And a couple have said, hey, yeah, I'd like to check it out. And then radio silence. So a little frustrating in that there. Table reads. Thanks for all those that were Death's Brother. There will not be a part 2, unfortunately. There were some technical issues, and the second half would have been well over 50 pages. It was just too much to do, and without part 1, it was hard to justify doing part 2 anyway. But Script Hot Packet can also be, if you want to know what happens, you can do that too. I've got a real great anecdote though. The guy that played the lead, they told us that he wasn't the first choice. He was the second choice. The guy who was originally designed to do designated to do the lead performance backed up because he felt the role was too disturbing. So I felt that was a great compliment. And because yes, that's my horror script, so you're supposed to be disturbed. Those of you who are there for the reading know that it's very psychologically disturbing. You know, it really gets into the psychology of it. So one guy couldn't handle it, couldn't handle the role. I'm like, that's right, brother. But and then on the 19th, then we will have the flow table reading, and my short will be one of those read. There's two, right, Alex? Two? Yeah, mine's one of them, Jessamine. And that's really exciting. And that's the 19th at 2 p.m. Central Time, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. So anybody that wants to get invited, let Alex know about that, and feel free to, I think, take part in that. But that's pretty exciting. So my scores were good on that, so I'm looking forward to the chance of that being filmed. But yeah, please check out my Script Hot Packet and that awesome sweet post.
Good. Doug Nelson.
Hi, one and all. I'm out here in Western Oregon basically I'm a producer and things of that nature. Director when I have to be. I have just been asked to bring up a skit that I wrote a few years ago that won at Sundance for the shorts, because a gal in Hollywood who is a young actress, Diana Cochran, wants to take it on and use it to build her career and entryway into the film industry. So I'm doing that for her. The governor also has let us crawl out from under our rocks here now. So I'm able to get out and actively search for a crew again, and I'm getting back up to developing a film festival here in Western Oregon. It is for filmmakers, by filmmakers. And I think I mentioned I still have my little cable network show going, and we're finally going to get rolling on that again. So that's all.
Good. John Lewis.
Evening, one and all. John Lewis from New York City. This morning, very early this morning, I was on the set of Marvelous Mrs. Maisel and back again tomorrow, so I'm going to have to duck out early. I'll be in episode 7, and if you blink, you'll miss me. So I'm sure you're all are blinking already. Yeah, been doing some acting, and I have been writing. Been really focusing on lately, and continue to on my stage plays that I'm writing. And I know that that's not film or television, but my latest one, A Dying Breed, as Christine and others and I have talked about, it is very cinematic in its scope, so maybe it's something we'll turn into later. But and I'm going to have to duck out early because again, of I'm pretty tired and my early call tomorrow. But anyway, yeah, we're open here in New York, and everything's kind of coming back in a quick turn of the page almost. Yeah, so that's my update. Good to see everyone.
Great. Mark.
Hi, hello, everyone.
No, Mark Spira.
Okay, Mark.
You have to unmute yourself, Mark.
Yeah, I was just waiting. That's okay. Manuel can go if you want. That's fine. Yeah. Hey, sorry. I've been going for a while. Work and family kind of got me covered up for a month and a half or two. I'm not sure when the last time I joined, but I see some familiar faces. So what have I been doing? Working on basically, I have a horror script that's done pretty well in contests, mid-quarters in the Blue Cat. I think it's top 4 or 5% on Coverfly. So I've put a lot of effort into trying to get that off the ground a little bit. I found a line producer, Alex. I think maybe you remember I was asking you about line producers. Found a guy, put some numbers to it. Looks like about 5.9 million to get it done. That's with tax incentives. So I guess, up front, I kind of want to know how much it was going to cost to get this thing done. So now trying to get a producer attached, maybe a director to it.
Mark, was that SAG?
I believe, excuse me?
Was it union SAG pricing?
I believe so, yes. Yeah.
Okay, because you can go a different route, just to put that out there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm trying to get it down even further. Honestly, I'd love to get it under 5 million if I can. So kind of he's going to do another, take another swipe at it. Again, would love to get a producer attached, Alex, and if you'd like to read it. And so yeah, that's the goal. We'll see what happens. It's just it's a fun little horror thing. But people seem to enjoy it when they read it, so we'll see what happens there. Working on a pilot. I haven't written many pilots, but I'm trying on another one here. It's kind of my second one. I'm just still kind of learning, but it did all right. It semis in the Inroads Fellowship, so we'll see. I still got some work to do on it. Pilots are hard, I think. They're really hard. So I've been trying to watch some pilots and how they read some of the pilot scripts and how they write and introduce characters right up front and relationships and et cetera, et cetera. So I'm working on that. And what else? Oh, I'm trying to get table read on that horror I'm trying to get produced. So I found a group through the Screencraft writer's room. And so I'm working on that. That might happen in September. So we'll see how that goes. And lastly, I do have something to offer to everybody through that Screencraft group. I have like one of the guys who's been pretty successful offered like this 30-page list with emails of producers and agents that he basically queried. It's a exhaustive, and it's an unbelievable list. If anybody wants it, he basically was like, hey, this is what I use. Feel free to fire your emails out to these people if you want. So if you guys want the list, I'd be more happy to share that with everybody if you want it.
Yeah, Mark, if you want to send it to me, then I'll attach it tomorrow in what I'm sending out.
Okay, yeah, we'll do it. Do I have your right email? I tried sending you a few emails, Christine, but I was wondering if you actually got them because I wasn't getting a response. I don't know.
I haven't gotten any emails.
Is that so weird? I don't know what's happened. I don't know why. Do you think that they're going into your spam or?
No, I don't have a spam filter.
That's so strange.
No, it's just once in a while it seems to happen.
Okay. Well, I'll just send it to the normal email then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Info.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
That's it for me.
Manuel Xavier, welcome back.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Yeah, I see that there are new people here, so I will introduce myself again. Can you hear me, Chris?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. Well, my name is Manuel Xavier, an emerging writer from Mozambique. Now my attention, hello?
Yeah, we can still hear you. Keep talking.
Okay. Yeah, my name is Manuel Xavier from Mozambique. I'm an emerging writer, and yeah, I've written a script, a full-length script called The Cabal. which is the movie that I give much attention to now, and it's been polished by a editor. And currently I'm working on another project called KwaZulu Natal, which is about AIDS and soccer. And then I've introduced another theme on this, which is a crime, because I want to, the open scene show, I put it to be a crime scene. So, and this is the question that I also brought for tonight, for this meeting, especially in Mozambique, it's 3 a.m. So sorry if my voice is hoarse here. Which is, my question actually, Christian, is how many themes should the script have, or maybe story?
Okay, if you want to bring that question after my talk on theme, and then we can.
Okay, I'll do that. Yeah, so right now I'm basically working on this project, the KwaZulu Natal, which is my new script, but I also interrupted it for a few weeks now, because in Mozambique we have terrorist group invading the northern province called Cabo Delgado, and which this extremist group is, killing people there, and so I'm working on a project. I've written a script in which to aim is to dissuade young people from pursuing this group. So this is what makes me, gets me busy these days. So I didn't go back to write this script called KwaZulu Natal. But yeah, I'm working on this. So I think after this project, I will go back and write the script. So it's difficult to, work on two projects at the same time, especially when one is, very important at the moment, because I'm trying to, beat the time in order to present this and show this film in communities there, and so that people can see it, young people can see it.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay, so Christine Whitlock, I'm in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. And I had sent out my spec Hallmark mystery TV pilot to 17 different producers. I got one rejection, and today I sent it to a producer director from Hallmark to remind him, because I hadn't heard back, and he was busy editing his latest Hallmark movie. So he hopes to get back to me the end of the week. And so I have to finish my other Christmas romance script. So if I have to go and pitch other production companies, then I've got a TV pilot and a romance script. And then my 2 horror scripts, they're taking a long time to write. It seems they're not coming that easily to tell me how they should be finished. So so they're slowly coming out. Now, the last couple of weeks, I watched one webinar on pilots, how to write pilots through Stage 32. And like I said, I had bought this over a year ago, and I just watched it. So don't buy anything, because there's so much free stuff out there. And then someone mentioned, Doug McDougall mentioned about Save the Cat. Well, this past week, they had a free webinar on, again, writing a TV pilot. And that's going to be on their YouTube channel. I'll check tomorrow if it's up yet, and I'll put that in the correspondence that I'll be sending you all tomorrow. So, so tonight's topic is about writing theme statements. So you'll get this full document, and it's got links to the Google search that I did, and a few other YouTube webinar that I watched, a couple of them. So you can watch them on your own time. So it says basically to write a theme statement, follow these 3 steps. Pick the main topic addressed in the story. Pinpoint the author's view on the topic. And format that perspective using a theme statement template. But it seems all of them are saying a theme is not one word. It's not like love or hate. It has to be something to do with your story. So finding the theme of a story using topics. It says think back on the main character or characters. Did they undergo some kind of change during the journey? Did their outlook on life evolve in some way? It says that's usually a pretty good place to start looking for the theme. So in any kind of fiction, there has to be a change from the beginning to the end of the characters. And usually, you know, you have a problem that has all kinds of complications in the second act, and then a resolution in the third act. It says another good place to start is by picking a general topic that the story tackles, and then figuring out on which side the author ultimately comes down. For example, maybe a story deals with the broad topic of love. Well, love by itself isn't a theme, but a specific perspective on love could be. So again, perspective on all of these various things. So this author believes blank about what the topic is. In our example about love, maybe the story is about how love conquers all, or maybe it's about how love is fleeting and fickle. So using a theme statement template, every teacher or instructor is going to have their own way of wanting you to present your theme statement. So be sure to get clarity on that directly from them. So here are some rules. Don't include specific characters or plot points. This perspective on life should apply to people and situations outside the story. So it has to be universal themes. Don't be obvious. War is bad is not a theme. Dig a little deeper using details from the story. What specifically is bad about war? How does it negatively impact the characters or the world of the story? Don't take it advicey. You should always be there for your family isn't a theme, it's a suggestion. Keep your theme statement objective and based solely on evidence from the story. The bond between family can overcome any obstacle. Don't use cliches. Once a cheater, always a cheater. Or actions speak louder than words aren't themes. They're just expressions people use all the time and have very little power or real insight. So I'll let you read the rest of it. And like I said, and look at the webinars on YouTube. Now, I know when I had to put together my Bible for my latest TV pilot for the Christmas mystery, they want you to put your theme in there. So, so you need to be able to verbalize that. And of course, you know, if you're ever in a pitch, then they may ask you that. So that's one of the things you need to have. Alex, you keep nodding your head. You got any insights on that?
No, I'm agreeing, and especially in a pitch, it's one of the first things they bring, you know, they want to know. Because the theme carries, it's almost like it's the backbone of the story and everything else is going to add to it. The theme is so important. If it doesn't have a soul to a story, it's so unmemorable.
So has anybody been asked about their theme in any of their pitches or in their TV pilot Bibles?
I'm going to add. I'm going to say, yeah. I'm going to say yes to that, and I'm going to use it in the latest project that I'm working on. Again, it's a stage play, but all these buzzwords are all the same no matter what platform you're working on. It's I'm working on a play that has one setting, a car, and 3 characters. 2 middle-aged white guys like me, and they pick up a hitchhiker who is younger, a different race. So all these things that you think that they might talk about come up in a conversation in a car during this road trip. Now, my theme, the thing I wanted to talk about as a writer, was I wanted to talk about race, and I wanted to talk about where middle-aged white guys might be feeling a little confused, insecure about where they're fitting into all of these social issues that have been coming up in recent years. Me Too movement, Black Lives Matter. And so in my first couple of drafts, I kind of focused more on that. And the feedback I was getting back from my reading team was focus more on the characters. It's really about the characters. And within that, then you can get more of what your theme actually is. If it's I don't know if I'm being clear in what I'm talking about, but that made a lot of sense to me. And so I've made major changes in focusing really on the characters, and then what a character wants will come through. The theme will come through that prison, through that procedure, you know. And again, I don't know if I'm articulating it well, but it made sense to me, and so I've been able to make changes. And the feedback has been much more positive. They're like, oh yeah, now I understand these guys. I understand where they're coming from. I understand what they want, why they're confused, why they're bringing up all these questions, why these things happen, you know. And I wasn't necessarily focusing on theme. I was focusing more on things we know as writers, you know, who these characters are, where they come from, what they want. So I don't know if I confused anyone in my explanation or in my process as a writer, because that's what we are here. We're writers, but yeah.
Yeah, well, you would start with your characters in your own writing project, but then make what they're doing universal. Their reactions to the situation universal.
First thing that I always ask a writer, why did you write this story?
I mean,
that's your theme. If you can't explain that, then you're going to be hard pressed to get the story across. And when you're writing things like that, like you're talking about, John, racism and stuff like that, that's a wonderful subject for a short film. Because a short film has the ability to really approach these things deeply and strongly without having the excess baggage of all the other scenes in there. So that's a wonderful topic for a short. Have you ever seen the film called One State? We shot that in 1969, 16 millimeter film.
No.
Won the Academy Award in '69. It's, you know, it's an old film, but it has to do with racism and homelessness and the difference between the social classes. It's an excellent example of theme in action, put it that way. And there are lots of these wonderful short films like this. The Stutterer is one of those. I don't know if you ever watched that one or not, The Occurrence at Owl Creek is another old time, very strong thematic short film. And you also have to remember that whatever you're writing, your theme has to be filmatic. I mean, you have to show it, you can't tell it. And you can't follow somebody's lead on this. You have to figure your own voice out and develop your own writing style, your own voice, and not be bothered by somebody else's do it this way, do it that way talk. You know, that's why I always have a hard time with Blake's book, what was it, Save the Cat. I knew Blake back in the 70s when he was actually writing it. And we would have long discussions about that over on the patio at the Hollywood Roosevelt Hotel at that time. And I told him my feeling on that was he's writing a damn instruction book. This is a paint by numbers book. And he kept saying, well, but everybody should know that, you know, it's flexible. I keep telling him, no, new screenwriters are gonna pick that book up and think that that's the way it's gotta be done. So my advice to any of you who have recently bought that book is throw the damn thing away. He's done more damage to the screenwriting craft than anybody else before him or after. Just my point of view.
Ardell, you had a question? You put in the chat?
As I was wondering what a theme would be in a murder mystery. How would it be different from mystery to mystery if they're all focused on solving a crime?
No, but each of the crimes would be different and the type of people involved.
Yes,
So it would, you know, like if it was greed and, you know, if you had a theme of greed, but you have to expand on that the person was murdered because of greed.
Well, that's why the first thing I would ask is, why are you writing the story? That's your answer.
To let people know that, you know, because this person was so greedy, it caused his downfall.
Okay.
His death.
Here's an example. I've written this trilogy. First one was about a stolen identity and false arrest, and the second one was about computer hacking and corporate espionage, and there was hostage taking in that, or kidnapping. And then the third one is where a person predicts their own murder, and then the protagonist has to solve the murder. Anyway, so they're all completely different, and I just don't know how you, like, for instance, in the one that is about stolen identity, is that the theme? I mean, it's a murder mystery, and there's international crime, and
well, that's the topic is stolen identity.
Okay, so what's the theme?
That's not the theme.
That's not the theme.
So how do you
the result of a crime?
So how do you determine what the theme is in a story like that? It's a murder mystery based on false identity or stolen identity, leading to false arrest. So how does one go about deciding what the theme is in something like that?
What prompted the person to steal the identity?
It gave, well, the protagonist is not the person that stole the identity. It was her identity that was stolen. It was one of the antagonists, one of the killers. who stole her identity. And her reason for doing it was in order to have access to the person that she wanted to get revenge against. And that was just one of the minor characters in the book.
Well, that's your theme, revenge.
Okay.
And it's how your protagonist is trying to get her identity back and catch these killers, yes?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
While the killers are working against her.
Well, she's trying to prove to the police that she didn't do the murder, that her identity was stolen.
You had something to say, Alex?
Ardell, sometimes when I'm thinking of an idea, I think of it macro. What's the type of thing I want to preach to the world? What do I want to teach? What's the big change I want to make? And then I start filtering it down. So revenge is a good one. It's one of my TV series that, in a sense, revenge leads to many grades, right? Because revenge is so broad, but in my context, it's about a misplaced revenge from a mother that lost a child going after the wrong person and all the ramifications that happen to that. So it's all tied to that theme. Mm-hmm. So I would maybe look at it from a big macro thing first, like what would you want to preach to the world, and then bring it down specifically to your story. That may be a way to, help you focus on it.
Yeah. I can't say
One
that.
thing you want to be careful about, though, is that you are a screenwriter. You're not a preacher. And I know I do this so much. When I first start writing a script, I get real heavy-handed on the theme. And then when I have to go back and rewrite it, I kind of lighten up, and bring it forth, thin it out a little bit. But you don't want to beat people over the head with your theme. You have to understand that your audience has at least a basic level of intelligence, generally. And they like to figure things out. So you don't need to lay out all of the answers up front. You can work with your theme and your character. How your character acts is where you detect his theme. I just had a guy the other day, I think it was today, as a matter of fact, was asking me about whether he should have the theme in the script itself or in the character bio.
Mm-hmm.
And my answer was, no, you put it in the character bio. That's a writer's tool. Mm-hmm. It's not the filmic tool. You bring the character out in his actions over the course of the film. And that's the way you express the theme. You let the audience figure it out.
Yeah, there's no moral to the story. It's just about a woman who is getting over a bad breakup, and she's caught up in this, being accused of this murder, and she is rescued by somebody else. Well, not rescued, but helped to hide by somebody else, and then the story evolves around these two people, but they have to solve the murder from a distance, because otherwise she will be thrown in jail and accused of murder. So it's there's no moral to the story, but it is the journey of this woman from a bad breakup to an HEA. But it's there's a whole lot of a plot and subplot, international crime and that sort of thing involved in getting from A to B, or A to Z, I should say. So it's going to be tricky for me to figure out what the theme of my books are in hindsight, because they're already published.
Yeah, well, they're already written. You can't go back and change them now.
No, that's right. But it's just that, in analyzing them in hindsight, I should know what the theme is. I should be able to figure it out if it's already published.
Please forgive my crudeness here, if you will, but what you're explaining sounds more like a factory movie, the kind of thing that's come out in droves right now. They're on TV for every half hour. They're just ordinary movies. They really don't have a real theme to them. You know, they're not classic movies. My view is that there are only two types of movies. There are excellent ones, and then there's everything else.
Okay, Manuel, you want to bring up your question for the group to answer? Unmute yourself.
Yeah, Christian, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Well, yeah, my question is, how many themes can a script have a story? Because basically in my story, The Cabal, I have this main character, Nicholas, who, after having his wife killed by rogue assassins, he decides to, to find them for revenge. He's looking for revenge. And on his way to find them, he's taken to a prison by this political figure, which corrupt politicians that they take him to the prison. And then on another way, so I have pointed out here that if after having his wife killed, he also have this mission of saving his daughter, which is kidnapped. So in this story, it's like Nicholas have his wife killed, and then his daughter is kidnapped, and then he's taken by this corrupt politician to the prison. So what my question here is that if it's I can call this script with I can say that this story has three themes, which is family, has his daughter has been kidnapped, and he's fighting to have his daughter back, and then revenge, because he's revenging, he's seeking for revenge, because his wife was killed. And then we have another point here, which is political corruption, because these people who takes him to the prison, they're corrupt. So I don't know if I can say that the story has a third theme. That's why I came up with this question, because for me, it's like, I was trying to assess it, and
Yeah, Manuel. So
yeah.
I don't know your story, but from what I'm gathering, it seems to me more like a theme of perseverance would be more of the main theme here. You've got some other things, but to me, just by listening to what you're saying, it seems like you've got the main theme of perseverance, and then you're adding, the storylines. Again, it's hard for me to. I'm just brainstorming as if I was with you in a writer's room. But that's the first thing that comes to my mind, is that your main character's theme is perseverance.
Yeah, I think that I would kind of agree with that. I would think that your main character is perseverance. But the answer to your question is, or it could be family. But the answer to your question is, you really only have one theme for your film. But that doesn't mean you can't have all sorts of subplots and subtexts throughout there. But I think that you pick one idea, and that would be, as Alex mentioned, perseverance is one. Perseverance to overcome all, or, maybe perseverance to save his family, whatever. But you only get one theme per movie. You can have all sorts of subtopics.
Thank you.
Yeah, otherwise your audience gets confused if you start overlapping, putting different themes in your film.
Unless of course there's a twist at the end where the revenge causes a problem for him to get a hold of his daughter. Right?
Yeah, this is what happens, because he's actually looking for this. He's looking for this rogue assassins, and then which makes him to enter this fighting club in New York, fighting arena, and then he's seen there because he was trying to to find these people. And he's taken from there, and which caused to have his daughter kidnapped. So it's like what I saw here is after writing this story, and then as the story develops, we end up developing another subtext, which at the end makes us question whether we can say that this is another theme for this movie or maybe not. Because it's like, because of this happens, and then because of this happens. So
but it has to be one sentence, like Alex says, persistence that helps to keep the family together. But that doesn't have to. That doesn't mean that the subplots are different. So there's a revenge subplot. There's a persistent subplot, and then there can be different kinds of subplots. There's romance subplots, money subplots. Religious subplots. There could be a number of different subplots.
All right. Okay. So I can.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Great. So Alex, I wanted to tell you that after watching these two webinars on TV pilots, so they both said that you can write up to 60 pages, for the pilot.
Yeah, I was on the one call with Mr. Jamie Nash, is his name. I was on that call. To Save the Cat guy, was it Jamie Nash? Yeah, I was on that one, yeah. Keep going there, sorry.
And so you heard that he said, don't write any other episodes.
Yeah, that was interesting. Yeah,
they both said
10 pilots rather than 10 episodes, yeah.
They said, don't write any other episodes, like fully. You can write the synopsis.
Right.
For your Bible, all of the things, because they said if a showrunner comes in and takes it over, they could change it all.
Yeah, that was actually, they did catch my attention when they said that. So, yep. I mean, I have a mini series of 4 episodes. Everyone wants me to make it into a TV series of, each year. So yeah, I wouldn't write the rest of those. I would definitely just do outlines and pitch decks. But I did catch that. That was the definite thing I took away from that Mr. Nash's meeting. He said, right, 10 pilots rather than just 10 episodes.
That was interesting. And also what he said, that out of the 6,000 paid writers in the US, 5,000 of them are working on TV. So they said that's where the money is.
It's true.
And so
very true.
So that they said, if well, right now we're all on Zoom meetings because of the COVID thing, but who knows what's going to happen once everything gets lifted. Pardon me, if they're going to allow people who are out of California, to be in the writer's room by Zoom, or whether you have to move to California or Vancouver or wherever, the writer's room is, or you sell your pilot, right? And just get creator
creator credit, yeah.
Credit, yes, and whether you could, pop in once in a while in a Zoom meeting, we don't know how these things are going to be working out.
I kind of question that, because we did that many years ago and with Skype and stuff like that. But really the way it works in the writer's room is there's a cadre of people in there who are sharing ideas quickly, very quickly. And there'll be 5 people in there, all of them talking at one time. You know, obviously when you're trying to put together a Zoom meeting or something like that, it just doesn't feel right. It just doesn't work. But, you know, if those of you who want to earn a living as a writer, the place to be is in the writer's room. And that does not necessarily mean Hollywood. You know, there's a lot of production in Atlanta. I was surprised to see the amount of production that's going on in Toronto. And of course, you all know about Vancouver. That's a tremendous production area. So, and Hollywood is actually kind of diminishing. I mean, it's kind of getting to the point nobody can afford to live there at any price. So, you know, filmmaking is going to expand into a whole different animal than what we've seen in the past. I like to think of myself as being, you know, an independent short film renaissance man. I think that I'm going to start seeing things that I used to see back in the 70s. They're coming back. I think it's a good thing. But we'll see.
People in LA don't, oh, go ahead.
Yeah, there's a lot of film and TV production going on in Georgia. I lived in Georgia working there for 4 months. And I mean, The Walking Dead, all the Walking Dead series are all filmed and produced in Georgia. And there's some production companies. One of them, a very well-known producer director, I can't remember his name. He's got a huge production company there also.
Tyler Perry?
Tyler, yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of work going on in Georgia, but you have to remember, it's a right-to-work state. So union rules do not apply. So that's probably an asset to them, actually, that they're attracting so much business over there for that reason.
Well, that's one of the reasons that the big productions in Hollywood are leaving town.
Right, right. The
Yeah,
runaway production they refer to.
Yeah, they're going to go to Atlanta, you know, they're going to go to Georgia, Samara, and up in that neck of the woods, up in the Notch. Or I don't know about Arizona, if it's a right-to-work state or not.
Well, when I worked on The Crow, it was in North Carolina. It was Carolco Studios in Wilmington.
Yeah.
So which doesn't exist anymore, but.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think Arizona is like that too. So I think you can probably get some production over there in Arizona. Nevada is great for that kind of stuff. You know, we have some pretty good tax incentives up here, but we're not all that friendly towards production up here in Oregon anyway. And neither is Washington. Vancouver is tremendously just, you know, open for production. So they're really going great guns up there. That's where we did Dead Like Me, the whole series. So, and we did Juno up there. So there's a lot of production going on.
The British Columbia incentives. And there's also Louisiana incentives.
Yeah, big tax break.
Yeah, tax breaks in Louisiana and Georgia. And I don't know where else, but there are some all over the country. And almost all the states have some. You know, even New York has some. So you have to check with the state film agencies to find out what it's all about. And some of them are more complicated than they're worth.
Mark, when you had your line producer do your budget,
yes, sir.
Mine gave me locations to go to the films. I don't know if yours did or not.
He honestly, he did. I think he based it in Georgia, most of it. Yeah.
Mine was North Carolina.
Yeah, he felt like that was just because of the setting.
Right.
And then the tax incentives, I think, are pretty aggressive. So,
yeah. Even line producers know this now, whereas before it was just all done in a studio or green screen, but now it's so much cheaper to travel somewhere.
Yeah.
Because I know in Hamilton, you get an extra 15% tax credit for going outside of Toronto. And I think it's even more a tax incentive if you go north of Barrie up to the Sudbury area. You have the Northern Ontario tax incentives.
Just for Canadians or anybody worldwide who wants to film there?
No, we have international people taking advantage of it. because I always watch all the credits to see what's happening. And I think there's a lot of
Netflix shows? Hulu.
no,
Hulu.
computer stuff being done in Quebec.
Oh, okay.
Because I see Quebec on quite a lot of international credits at the end.
I've been
You'll find
watching.
that most of those international credits are, a lot of them are French, particularly up in Quebec. But Canada is not particularly pleasant to work with for American producers or directors because of their restrictive regulations. But they do have some pretty good stuff going on up there for local Canadian people. You know, we're more friendly towards Canadian people down here than Canadians are for us up there when it comes to production. That's just the way it is.
Has anybody seen the show Little Fires Everywhere? Brilliant show on Hulu, and it's filmed in Canada.
Australia and New Zealand, a lot of big budget films are have been produced there. You know, I don't know if they have any incentives financially, but
there are some to New Zealand, pretty significant. I don't know what's going on in Australia, but New Zealand is developing a very strong film center. Mm-hmm. Starting with the old Xena Warrior Princess films.
Well, Lord of the Rings was all that stuff was done in New Zealand. Yeah.
So there's a lot of it.
Now, I've been making quite a number of connections with producers in India, and they're looking for different things. I have to make a phone call tomorrow to a producer there, and she's looking for thrillers. So
oh, nice. That'll
what
be
happens?
Yeah, if you yeah, I mean, if you have any information or feel free to forward it to me. I do know the Bollywood culture. My uncle is a screenwriter there, and I have a second cousin at the Yash Raj Films. He's a director there. So yeah.
Well, I'm going to be pitching my thriller script.
Okay.
And then also my TV pilot for a winery series. And I checked that India does have winery regions.
Yeah, I do.
So they
I mean, the agriculture industry is pretty strong there, so I'm sure. Yeah.
So my script could be adapted to the Indian culture.
Yeah. I mean, there was also, I don't know if you heard about like the whole cases with the farmers' protests earlier this year and stuff. But I mean, I know there was like a lot of controversy with that and stuff. But I mean, that's just, it's a very current right now, like that topic. I don't think there's any content that was developed on that. So yeah, just putting it out there, you know. But I mean, that might be something that I might be interested in writing, like a documentary, you know, eventually. Yeah.
But again, it's the 7.5 hour time difference that I have to be worried about for calling.
Right. Yeah. Does it have to be translated in Hindi or it'll be in English?
I don't know. I have to talk to the woman. I was just given her name and her phone number to contact.
Okay. Yeah. Just be careful. I know there's a lot of, there's some scams and things. I mean, I'm not saying this is a scam, but I know there's a lot of things. Yeah, they kind of,
No, I would get an NDA signed before I'd send anything. So I'd get all their information and check out
just make sure everything is legit and valuable. Yeah, like background checks and things like that. Because I do know I know people who had issues in the past, like doing business there. But let me know how it goes. Next call. Yeah, good luck.
Because our next meeting will be the 21st.
This dude fell asleep.
Monday the 21st, so in 2 weeks. And I guess that has anybody made plans for travel? Because here in Ontario, we're still not allowed to cross the border into Quebec or Manitoba. I don't know when that's going to be lifted. Hopefully on Friday, if the restaurants are going to be allowed to have the outdoor dining, then you can go traveling outside of your city, because like I can't even go to Niagara Falls because where can you go to the bathroom, you know, if everything's shut up? That's the problem.
I'm scheduled to go back to work in the California deserts next month on a project, so I gotta go there to work. So
what are you going to be doing there?
I'm going to be doing some biomonitoring on a solar project.
Yep, keep notes and pictures on everything, because you never know when you can use it on a story, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, that's all definite material there. Yeah, I may post some videos even on YouTube showing what I do. So, standing next to excavators and bulldozers and making sure they don't kill anything. So.
So anybody else have any questions for the groups or comments?
Yeah, Tom, you okay?
Tom's sleeping, it seems like it.
I hope he's not.
Should we 911 or?
I hope not.
Oh my gosh.
Tom.
I hope we're not that boring.
Yeah.
Who wrote me this? Karen Terryman. Oh.
So Alex, that Zoom meeting that we had on Saturday, was that just a one-off?
So typically every other week we host table reads of the scripts, but I kind of realized a few days back, I got all these incredible people supporting the project and they don't really know any, they don't know one another. So that's why I hosted that meeting, and everybody's already asking when's the next one. So we have 2 table reads in July. So I'll probably do that same format in August, more than likely. I'll have to see. It went well. There was like 20 people there. And there's another 20 people who said they couldn't make it. So, not everyone likes weekends. I know some people just don't do anything on a weekend. It's family time, and I understand that. But I have a clinic job Monday through Friday, so it's hard for me to do things in the week. So I would definitely say it'll definitely happen at least one more time. But then again, it may turn into more like updates about what's going on with the program. Even though we have the Instagram account that people can get some info, it's not a bad thing to kind of, have everybody like this together and kind of give updates, and maybe everybody can, just like you do, everyone can give their updates about stuff. But it was pleased to see that, as I said, 4 people have connected already. So that was very cool. Very cool.
Nobody contacted me about coming to this meeting, though.
Oh, somebody contacted me about coming to the meeting, and I gave them the invite, but I guess they didn't make it. Sorry. Sometimes, like I said, people on the West Coast and things like that. I mean, I think I mentioned it on Saturday, so many people on time from the West Coast. It's like, wow. But, we've got people from all over the world, Cherie, you know her. So it's difficult choosing a time that please everybody. So I just be selfish and choose the time that I can do it and hope everybody else can. But just like you on your Monday meetings, everybody knows it's the same time. So I think if I can be consistent with that, then maybe people will mold to it. I'd love to do things in the week, but just don't have time. So it's going to have to be Saturdays for now. And my student groups won't be Saturdays because I want them to be participating in. We had a when I left the adults, we had this first student group. So we had it was 23 of the 25 kids had shown up, and that went really well. And then they reviewed the latest script. So the youth ones will probably happen more often than the adult ones. But yeah, thanks for coming, and look out for the next one. If anybody's interested in our project, like I said, email me and I'll make sure. I know some of you have already emailed me. I'll definitely invite you. It's on the 19th, and Julian is one of the authors of one of the scripts that we're going to be doing the table read. I think I'd mentioned it to Mark. I have a group of actors in my purview. Most are in Canada, some are here in the States, and you know, we have fun with the readings. And just like anything, a reading is for the writer to elevate their writing by getting feedback from the actors, because those of you who are writing, you either have to take acting classes or at least read about, you know, why the actor's feedback is so important for you. So, you know, you have your own style. I'm one. I never lead an actor in how they speak in my scripts. Never. That's just me. Some actors will probably appreciate that, and some are like, how am I supposed to say this? But, you know, that's what the freaking director's there for.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Christine, I did have a question. And my question is, I was just wondering if anyone had ever gone through VPF to arrange pitches, or Stage 32, and if you could talk about the experience.
Go ahead, Christine. But I have. After you, Christine.
No, you go.
You haven't done any? So Pauline, like I'd suggested, the three companies I gave you, I would recommend Roadmap Writers because of the training. And then you get to practice with executives on your pitches, whether it's written or verbal. So that's why I'd recommended Roadmap Writers, because you just get the training. Stage 32, you have 8 minutes to do a verbal pitch, kind of like either by phone, which is the one I did, or via, I think they still use Skype, and I don't have a Skype account, so I've never done it that way. So it's either Skype or telephone, and I've done the telephone one. 8 minutes goes like that. So be prepared, you know, that's again why doing the training is good for you. And then VPF is, as I said, it's misleading the name. It's really just submitting queries. But why I like it, I think I may have shown you on the site, is it'll say, you know, Christine Whitlock, producer in Canada, looking for Hallmark style love story, under 100 pages, set in blah, blah, blah. And if you're like, oh, that's my script to a T, then you submit your query to the producer. So I like it because there's about 400 people looking for subject matter, but they're only looking for what they're asking for. It's very, very detailed on what they're looking for. So I went through it and submitted 2 about sundown, got 1 rejection and 1 inquiry, and they have the script to read after signing an NDA. So again, Pauline, you know, do your own diligent research, but if you're asking me for my opinion, I would do the training with Roadmap Writers. It's just so intense, and you learn so much on all the different ways that you could be pitching. Your elevator pitch, your 1-pager you leave behind, your 8-minute verbal pitch, how to put together a pitch deck, all that stuff is covered in the training. So I highly recommend that.
8-minute pitch.
Thank you.
What were you saying, Julian?
Oh, I just said 8-minute pitches. That sounds so long. I just did a pitch training recently with CJ Wally, an interview on Script Revolution. It was completely free, and it was him and another producer, Shane Stanley, and we went for like 6 hours, and everybody just had to throw their pitch out there. And it was really good because there was no pressure. It was not recorded. There was no chance that these guys weren't the producers that were going to make your movie, but they just gave us feedback. And so I just kind of went for it, and you know, kind of crashed and burned, ran out of steam a little bit, but it was good to practice. So I'm thinking like what I got from the experience was that I'd like to have a more scripted pitch, one that's, you know, not me rambling and jumping around and going back to the second act and going, well, anyway, but you know, like that stuff. So, you know, it's good to get some definitely practice. You don't want to blow a shot on your first time pitching, and if you don't get a chance to practice, I would say script it. But is 8 minutes normal? Is that a regular pitch?
Well, I'm just saying that's what stage 32 does, is 8 minutes.
Oh.
You may get 5 minutes with the producer, they may give you half an hour. I mean, it depends on each person. Pauline, again, you know, practice makes perfect. Well, no, maybe not always perfect, but practicing. But again, if you've got training behind you and what people are going to be looking for, and Christine, you know, has put many lookbooks and pitch decks together, so it's good to have visuals for them. When I send out my one pager or my half a page synopsis letter, there's always a visual in there because, you know, we're in a visual medium. So my poster is in my query letter. My poster's there. My log line's in the poster. I open it up with a couple of sentences from the script to kind of tease what we're talking about. And then I go into the rest of that. So, I mean, I think stage 32 does offer maybe for $49.50 some type of intro to pitching. I think I've seen that course. Roadmap Writers is kind of like the whole shebang. Like they cover everything. But I'm sure there's so many different places online if you research on who does. I missed the one on Saturday because I had my daughter this weekend, but you know, I heard from people that it was a good thing. So look out for, I think it's Screencraft Writers does a lot of stuff for free about pitching.
Yeah.
Yeah, just look around.
Now,
You know, the thing about stage 32 is that you are paying to practice pitching. People you are pitching to are not decision makers. So wouldn't you rather go and meet with a professional decision maker and pitch to them?
Right.
I mean, that would make more sense to me.
Okay. All right, I'm writing down everything that everybody's saying. So.
Oh, Pauline, remember I told you the story about why I don't like stage 32? For those of you, just to hear this story, it's something we should be aware of. They'll send an email. Dear Alex, do you want to get your script in front of Netflix? You open up the email, right? You read it. And then it'll say, you know, I'll just use you, Doug, because you're in the industry. Doug Nelson is the assistant to the literary manager, blah, 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 of someone connected to Netflix. They're so misleading in what they tell you. So always read everything that comes through that fine print. They're so misleading. I tell Jason off all the time because I tell him, I've gone on IMDb Pro and it says that you said in the email that Alex Marino was worked on as a producer on a movie called, you know, my movie, Apocalypse Robot. I go to IMDb Pro and it says miscellaneous crew. That is not a producer of a film. Right. As again, so that's just me being very critical, and I tell Jason off all the time. You're misleading in what you tell people. Some people are very legitimate on that. You know, they're independent filmmakers. I think I've all told the story about Sarah at Whitewater Films. She's the creative executive of Whitewater Films. Whitewater Films is a very small boutique company, but she is a decision maker. And I've met with her, and you know, I've had a pitch with her, and I've had a meeting with her. But most of the time, you got to read that fine print. They BS it and they exaggerate. So be careful. Be very careful.
Alex, I went so far as to block Jason because I got so annoyed at his emails.
Now,
what you're saying, Alex,
thing that has changed recently is ink tip. You had in the past been able to get their newsletter for X amount of dollars every 4 months, and now you cannot get it unless you have a script on their site, and it's over $30 per month to do that. They have a discount for the first month, but you have to give them your credit card so it'll continue. And I told him I was extremely upset about this because I've been a long time, newsletter subscriber. And when I had my scripts on their site, I wasn't getting anybody really looking at it. So you still can post the log line of your short scripts on Inktip, as far as I understand, but they send you the newsletter, but you can't contact any of the producers in the newsletter unless you're signed up for this $30-something per month that they now require, which to me is ridiculous because all these other places are like $10 a month, and you can post all of your scripts on there.
I think the one thing to keep in mind is that I don't know how many entry-level screenwriters are out there, but there is a bunch. And if you were a producer, I run a little production company, SLB Productions, out here in the West. If I were even to consider opening it up to let screenwriters approach me, I would have probably 10,000 scripts a day. So, it's just incredible. But these companies that are out there, they're like the 49ers in California. Their writers are always excited about striking it rich. But the guys that actually made any money out there in California during the 49ers were the guys that were selling the picks and the shovels to the miners. And that's what these pitch services and these companies are doing. They are making money. They run a business, make money to make their own payment and their car payments off of what you're willing to spend. They're not interested in really getting involved in your production of your film. No, you have to go right straight to a real honest-to-God decision maker who has the wherewithal to do it. Don't buy with these pitch fest. We have one up here in Portland. It's coming up in August, where they bring a lot of trainees from agencies out, and the agents send them out to accept pitches, 5, 10, 15-minute pitches from new screenwriters all the time. And they'll be doing that for 2, 3, 4 days at a time. And it's not to find script, it's to train their trainees for the agents. So, spend your money wisely, do your due diligence. And if you want to approach a film producer, there is no film producer out there who's going to, ask you to send him money to read your script. It just ain't going to happen. A film producer is out there to earn a living by finding the best scripts out there that he can produce for his market. He's not out there to ask you to send him money to send him a script. He doesn't care about that. He's got a bigger fish to fry.
Yeah, I have one quick question for Alex. Do you always send an NDA when you send out your scripts?
Yeah. And it's not for me, it's to cover their ass.
Yeah,
they're the ones that may come across some problems without signing it.
Okay.
To cover them.
They don't have an issue with that. You're saying, hey, can you send us
they're all
NDA?
professionals. They're all professionals, yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, thanks.
And this way, you're going to get the correct name and company name, address, and phone number, because a lot of companies are having their website on Facebook. They don't have a separate website location, so you can't get, where do you send a real letter if you had to, or a registered letter, or your lawyer's letter, right?
Right. Yeah.
How can you find them, in the Ethernet?
Yeah, that's a good idea. I'll certainly do that from now on. I've sent it out probably too many times with that one now. So
you're covered. It's not you.
Shame on me.
It's strictly a professional business. You have to keep that in mind.
It's not you, Mark. It's them. It's to cover them, just in case something crisscrosses. The other thing that I do, Mark, to connect with people, I'm on IMDb Pro, and I look them up, and then I see who maybe is connected to the production company. Sometimes I contact an agent or a manager, or directly to a producer. I mean, I've done that. I've had people contact me that way as well. So my meeting today was from somebody on Saturday's call that attended, who's a friend of a friend. And we're very like-minded with something. And she wanted my opinion on one of her projects. She loved my thoughts. And then I told her about my project. She goes, "Oh, I got the right guy for you. Let's have a meeting today." So, you know, it's all about networking and the right, you know, right time, right script with the right person.
Good.
It's very important to keep in mind that this is a personal business. Absolutely. The people you need to be talking to are the people who can make the decisions, have the wherewithal to do the production, and not fool around with a bunch of time wasted.
Okay, well, I think
Thank
we'll
you.
start everybody telling me what you're going to be doing in the next 2 weeks. So Hannah, you go first.
Well, I hope I'm not going to be serving jury duty. But I have to put things on hold until I clear that off my appointment book. So.
Good. Patricia.
Okay, I have an old script that I'm dusting off to put through another draft because the middle needs work, and I'm determined to get it to work. I'll be working on that and trying to get some queries out to legitimate producers from my list on my horror script.
And what about the what's the genre of the dusting one you're going to be doing?
It's a sci-fi detective story.
Oh, great. Rosie, what about you?
We'll just try to finish up some short scripts and finish that up and see if I can maybe get the ball rolling and getting them produced or made. And then I'm gonna start trying to write some more feature-length scripts because from my understanding of this industry, it's like the short scripts, I mean, it's good to kind of get your name out there to network, you know, to kind of understand the industry and everything. But ultimately, I want to be a working writer. And so if I can start writing some features, you know, polish them up, edit them, and then maybe have not like a total stack of them, but have some options, then I feel more comfortable maybe approaching producers who'd be looking for like a feature script or maybe even trying to get an agent or something. For me, I feel like the next step after doing the shorts, you know, would be to write features and trying to get them made. I don't even know if this is totally correct. So that's what I feel like. I feel like the shorts are just...
Rosie.
Yeah.
It's good to have a pilot, a couple of features, and a short. Every producer will tell you, if you can master shorts, which are harder than anything else, that's your calling card.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, and I've been trying to work
to write shorts.
Yeah, I've been trying to work on the shorts because I feel like they've been okay, but they've been harder than I've been expected.
They're very hard to write.
Yeah, so I've been watching a lot of different like indie shorts and webinars on shorts and just kind of trying to kind of understand it all. So yeah, still a lot of work to do, basically.
But yeah, don't worry about, it's not like you're graduating to a feature. It's kind of like the opposite. It's easier to write a feature. It's so hard to write a great short.
Mm-hmm.
Doug, back me up. Julian, people have been writing shorts.
You know, when you're writing a short, that is really pinnacle. And if you want to be a writer, that means that you're going to be on a staff writing position. That doesn't mean that you're going to earn a living writing scripts.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be writing for a studio.
Okay.
Period. End of discussion. I mean, that's where you got to go. You're going to go that way. Because nobody is really going to pay you a decent wage if for you to write a script on your own, spec script.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can write a really top-notch short, you're pretty much in like Flynn. You've got a spot to go to. And if you can get it produced, even get it decently produced, any producer worth his salt will sit there and look at a 5 to 10 minute short film, and he ain't going to bother messing with your feature film. I would never bother looking at a feature film. I'll look at your shorts. Period. I mean, that's it.
Rosie, do you remember what Christine had said about there's 5,000 writers out of 6,000 in TV?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so I would hazard a bet if we did a survey of the 5,000 who've landed work, hardly any of them have had their own material written. You know, they wrote a spec and it got made. They probably did that World of Shorts, and they wrote such great material that a showrunner came along and hired them to be in their writer's room to work as a writer on, you know, Handmaid's Tale for the next 3 years. That's kind of like more like how it happens.
Okay.
That's pretty much the way it happens. No question about that.
Okay, Alex, what about you? What are you going to be doing?
Sorry. So, Rosie, we can email and we can talk more about that.
Okay, sure.
Didn't mean
Thank
to
you.
step on your time about that. Sorry. Okay, the next 2 weeks, I'm going to ask my actors group about Mark's script. Okay, that's my first thing on the agenda. Where is Patricia? Patricia, I will double check with Alex if she needs help in moving along with her freaking production. It's been a saga. For instance, I can help her with, you know, with the actors and stuff because she's going to be filming in Canada, right? Okay, I've got a whole slew of Canadian actors ready to go. So I'll do that for you. Doug, I'd like to talk to you more about that project. That's just fascinating. Julian, I'm going to read Poppycock and review it. Okay. For those of you who want to come to my table read, my email's there. Email me. And the only writing I'm doing is I have 2 grants to write by next week, by the 18th. So that's almost 2 weeks. One is for $500,000 and one is for 72,000. So they're both important, but yeah, one's a little more intense than the other one.
Good. Okay, Karen, what about you?
I have first chapters to turn in on a novel. So that's what I'm doing. It's on the 18th is my deadline. That's a hard deadline. So that's everything right now. And then I'm gonna, after that, I'll be polishing my my pilot.
Good. Pauline.
Well, I'm going to continue my research, but I'm also going to focus on a training, and I will be following Alex's suggestion to go to Roadmap Writers and check out their program.
Good. Nick.
Hey. Yeah, so next 2 weeks it's besides I think California is lifting all its restrictions June 15th. So pretty excited about that. Everything is reopening. I think things are getting better, so that's exciting. But apart from that, so I'll continue working on my cross-cultural romantic comedy, just rewriting. Also maybe working on my action comedy, Kashmir Confidential. Sometimes if it's too much of romantic comedy, I get a little bit bored. So it's good to mix sometimes, just especially with comedy, I think. And then, I might do some research on writing documentaries. I had some good ideas about, I think before, I don't know if Christine remembers, but I was interested in the milk carton documentary, and I know October is like 3-4 months away, but maybe good to prep a little bit on that and see just writing about documentaries or maybe short films or things like that. Just what I mentioned about the Indian farmer protests. That was I was in India last year. I don't think there was any content made, and it was similar to like the Black Lives Matter here, but it was a pretty intensive movement and stuff. So I might look into that and see how I can maybe write like a short documentary or something. But I'll see you guys on the 21st, and good luck with the call with India. Be nice to hear from you. Yeah, feel free to, if you have any questions, you could email me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good. Doug McDougall.
So I'm hoping to finish finalizing the lyrics for my musical parodies by the next 2 weeks, and then start work on my first of the 13. So that'll be working on dialogue and character development.
Good, Julian.
Hey, well, number one, I'm trying to resurrect my swimming pool, and there's a hole in the bottom, so I got a bit of a project ahead of me, and so that's breaking my back. But yeah, well, there's some good contest results. Well, hopefully coming up soon. I'll be hearing about the Screencraft comedy one on June 9th. There's some others in June that are coming through. Oh, there's Tom. Hey, Tom, how you doing? Welcome back. And then, of course, pretty soon, well, I don't know if it's 2 weeks, but yeah, coming up is that reading with Alex's Flow group of Jessamine, and I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, I feel like I'm doing pretty good on writing shorts so far. That's 2 that I've written that I'm pretty happy with and all. So the only thing left is got to come up with a TV series at some point, TV pilot. So I thought I had an idea, but I think I need to think about it some more. So that's just something I'm thinking about. When I get some results, you know, I'm not kind of writing much right now, but when I kind of see, I mean, if Poppycock just completely doesn't get anywhere this summer, then you have to do some reworking. But right now I'm just kind of like thinking about maybe ways to improve it, but I want to see what the results are first.
Doug Nelson.
Well, the only thing I've got going right now is I'm putting together a screening committee to see if we do indeed want to bring a film festival here to Corvallis, this part of the world. And I am starting to rewrite my little skit, the Our Time skit, and upgrade it to the point that it can be considered an Oscar quality short for an actress that has asked me to do that. She's a Hollywood actress, starting a Hollywood actress. So do what I can for her.
Good, Mark. You're going to be sending us that list of producers.
I am, yeah. I'll either email that over to you tonight. If you don't get it, that means there's a problem with the email again. Okay, so just let me know. All right, somehow.
Yeah, put your phone number in the chat.
Okay.
And
yeah.
if I don't get it, I'll call you. Has anybody else had problems sending me emails and not getting a reply? I haven't heard of anybody, so it seems kind of weird because you got my email about this invite for this meeting and you replied to it, so that went through all right.
Yeah, I know. It was just when I was trying to reply back to you to let you know I was going to be out of pocket for about a month and a half, and they were going, but you weren't responding, so I thought it was kind of weird. So I don't know.
Oh, I never got anything from you,
Yeah,
other than your
weird.
first 10 pages, which I sent back to you.
Yeah, kind of strange. So here we go. I'm sending you my telephone number. Okay. What am I going to work on? So I'm going to work on proofreading the script. I'm going to send to Alex for about the 50th time to make sure that there's no typos or grammar. It's just, God, I hate it. It's so painful. God, I have to like read it to him. I have it read to me. That's the best way to do it. And then I'm going to work on my pilot a little bit more. See how that goes. Try to get that, submit that to a few more contests, get some feedback on that. And I think that's about it.
So myself, I'm going to be following up with the producers for my Spec Hallmark mystery TV pilot. And I guess I better work towards finishing my other Christmas romance script and doing more pages on my 2 horror scripts. So, you know, there's lots to do. So tomorrow you'll get this email with the document about themes and the chat, and I'll see if Save the Cat has posted that TV pilot webinar on YouTube, so I'll put that in. Tom, have you got any parting words for us?
It's been scintillating.
Well, come back again and listen.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate your welcoming.
So we'll next meet in 2 weeks, Monday, June the 21st, 7 to 9 p.m. So keep writing, and we're all here, for your success. We want you to get those credits or those options or whatever it is. So, reach out to all of us to help you, because that's why I started this over a year ago last April, for, get people to help each other, because we all know something that may help somebody else, right? So why not help? And as Alex says, people have helped him, and it's always good to move it forward to help other people, because I think that's what we're all here for, is to help other people, and giving back is very important. So have a great night and the next 2 weeks, and stay healthy and keep cool now that we're getting into summer, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Take care, everybody.
Thank you.
Take care.
Take care, guys.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.